Alright, so I haven't made a video in 2 weeks. I've been kind of busy. So we recently got a $600 stimulus check. Whoop-de-fucking-do. It's really not that much money in the grand scheme of things. And I could have, bought a fucking PS5 or an Xbox or some shit. But that would have used up my entire check, and quite frankly, I'm lucky enough, thankfully, to be legally handicapped. And I know that sounds fucked up to say, but I get a check every month. Disability check. I get free health insurance, so I don't really have to worry about some things that other people do. What I do have to worry about is the fact that disability doesn't pay for shit. I'm currently renting a room from an uncle. That's not set in stone in the future. It could be ending any day, depending on how shit goes with taxes and whatnot, and some other bunch of shit, because taxes keep going up because no one knows how to run an economy anymore. So I could be homeless again. I was homeless for 2 or 3 years before this, and I've been living here for 3 years under the agreement that I would help out around the house, which I've been doing, and that I would find a job. Good fucking luck with that, and that's kind of one of the things I want to talk about. Since I got out of high school, I've probably applied for 800 somewhat jobs, and here's how that goes. You apply online, because everything's fucking online, and you hope someone gets back to you. 90% of the time they don't. Because if you have no fucking experience, because, you just got out of high school, why would you? I grew up in group homes, so even more so, why would you? Chances are you don't have any experience. The problem is, I'm almost 30, and this kind of adds up. So when you're my age, they're like, well, why don't you have any experience? And then you have to have the awkward conversation with them, well, I don't have any experience, because pieces of shit like you won't give me a job stocking a shelf because I have no experience. And then that just keeps going on and on for years and years, and next thing you know, I'm almost 30 and I don't have any work experience. And that's kind of the state of the job market. I mean, I was talking with, I think he was 17, working at the Burger King down the street I went to a few months ago, and he literally had to fight and argue with them for 8 months before they gave him the job. Because this is where the job market is. It's not, oh, I need a job, let me just go get a job. It's, I need a job, let me fight and fight and fight, and hopefully I get a job at the end of that, and most likely you won't. That's just a realism of things, so the fact that, with stimulus checks and whatnot, they think $600 is going to do anything, like, yeah, sure, it helped me out a little bit, because I needed, couple pairs of pants, I needed a new pair of shoes, I needed some new sheets, just random shit that I needed, I was able to get because $600. I needed a new mattress, $500 for Christmas from a family member, got me a new mattress, and some other shit I needed because the mattress is only $319. Bottom line is, 600 stimulus check ain't gonna do shit. Now, if we were to get another stimulus check for $2,000, here's what I could do with that. So this laptop, hang on, let me pull this down. This laptop is old as shit. It's over 10 years old. Ignore that for a second. As you can see, I'm running on Linfield at Core i7. It's old as shit. It's over 10 years old. It doesn't have a numpad, which kind of makes it difficult for some tasks, especially if you do office work like I do, trying to balance your checkbook and whatnot. It's not a good laptop for things I want to try to do. Now, I'm pretty damn intelligent. I mean, I've taught myself pretty much everything I know in life. If I had the money for a new computer, I mean, there's a reason why I have a lot of these programs installed. I've tried learning how to use Blender, I've tried learning how to use Darktable and all this shit. The problem is this computer cannot handle those workloads. I mean, there's a reason why I do the video formats like this, because I've tried, shooting videos with a small 4K camera, transcoding it to 1080p, and this laptop takes 12 fucking hours. if we were to get another stimulus check for $2,000, I could afford a decent fucking laptop and actually give myself a skill set, in graphic design. I could teach myself computer coding. Um, it really wouldn't be much for me to do to teach myself these things because I'm the type of person who can easily just teach themselves anything they need to learn. Um, but the bottom line is $600. Like, it's, yeah, thanks, I needed some random shit. But pretty much the entire check's gone now. I mean, I already spent it. Um, hasn't even been 2 days and it's already gone. And I'm willing to bet there's a lot of people who, are middle class, probably were better off than I have been my entire life, who are now worse off than I've ever been, because they're not legally handicapped. They don't get free health insurance. They don't get a check every month. So, their unemployment's not guaranteed. Me, when I'm unemployed, I don't file for unemployment. I just go back to Social Security and tell them, look, I'm not working anymore. They let me go. And then my check starts again the next month. So I'm kind of in a better boat because I'm legally handicapped. But, the government can't be bothered to do jack shit. And that's basically that. I mean, our economy's in the fucking shitter, for fuck's sake. And, I understand our money is basically worthless, but there is kind of a balancing act. You can't just print money and no consequences. There's going to have to be a way to pay that back or something there. I'm well aware of how economics work to an extent. But realistically, what we need now more than ever is something to stimulate the economy, and we can't do that because everything's shut the fuck down. And no one seems to want to address the fact that working in this country is kind of a shit show trying to find a job. So, $600 checks are out. I would advise people not to just go and buy PlayStations and shit, even though it's tempting, because the world sucks right now. But maybe buy some shit you need before you go out and buy a PlayStation. That's all I'm saying. Now, I did say in my last video I was probably going to consider buying a new Roku. I did not do that. I instead bought the Google TV for $50, which is this thing here. Android is a very weird operating system to me because it is very, very fragmented. It is a pain in the ass. I mean, if you go on Amazon, right, and you look at how many Android TV boxes there are, you'll notice, well, yes, there are a bunch of I'm trying to think of what the hell that thing was called. There was a streaming box by Android, Channel Master, this was it. So Channel Master is a pretty reputable company, and for $150 they have a streaming box. No, I don't give a fuck. And as you can see, it's got, coaxial for your over-the-air antenna, it's got a USB, it's got optical, it's got Ethernet, it's got HDMI, it's got power, it's got a SD card slot. But even though it's Android and it has the Google Play Store, you can't get Netflix. You can't get certain apps, and that's kind of the problem. It's like the TiVo Stream 4K that I have, Sling TV, not Sling TV, Stir, I think it is. Yeah, Stir is not available. So that's kind of the problem with Android, is it's just a fragmented pile of shit in some instances, because some apps just aren't compatible with certain devices due to arbitrary bullshit. And I think Google really does need to kind of fix that problem, but I doubt they ever fucking will. More pictures at the bottom there. a pretty good player, but unfortunately, with Android being Android, it's just not really an option. Uh, like I said, Stir, I can't get it on my TiVo, so but I figure, if for the best compatibility sake, I might as well try out the Google itself and give that a chance. And the layout's actually pretty decent. I actually kind of like the layout. Um, but my problem with Google is basically, uh, I have Android on my phone, but it's Lineage OS because I don't like Google, constantly fucking spying on me all the time. But I don't really give a shit, about the data collection when, one, my account is under a fake name, and two, I'm just using it to watch TV. I don't really give a shit. But what I kind of give a shit about is there's so many fucking Google Android fucking devices out there, and it is very fucking fragmented. When you look at Roku, there's several different Rokus, but the App Store is going to be the same. You're not going to have, oh, this app isn't compatible because you bought the wrong Roku, unless, of course, your Roku's like 15 years old, and in that case, yeah, probably, because it's fucking outdated. Time to upgrade your shit. Same thing with Apple. They have two. They have a 1080p and a 4K. Um, Even Fire Sticks, some things aren't compatible because it's not. And again, this is more the problem. It is Android, but it's Amazon's Android. It's not Google's Android. So, there's the problem where you couldn't get YouTube on the Fire Stick for a while because Amazon and Google were fighting. This is the kind of issues we have, unfortunately. So, uh, this will be here around the 7th or the 8th. I did pay an extra $13 for shipping. I will do a review and tell you guys how this is. People have already done reviews, but I like to do reviews on shit I buy. So that'll be next week. I will do the review. But yeah, the streaming thing in general is kind of a pain in the ass. You have to pirate shit if you want to watch anime, because it's all basically owned by fucking Sony now, and they're just censoring fucking everything. HBO Max is kind of starting to get its shit together, but AT&T in general, they've got a lot of fucking work to do. The fact of the matter is, I'm still paying for two of their fucking services, and I can't get everything that was on Cartoon Network and Adult Swim on there. Hopefully that changes in the future. I wouldn't fucking put it past them to do so. I would like to see some consolidation, though, within the apps themselves. Like, if you're a company and you own a certain set of shit, put all that shit on one place. Don't make me pay for 2 or 3 different fucking streaming services that you own. I think that's just fucking stupid, and I'll probably stick by that argument, honestly. But Android isn't terrible for a TV platform. It really isn't. It's just fragmented is the problem. And unfortunately, I've had so many issues with Roku, even though I was considering going back to them because $28. Hang on, I can't talk. I ultimately decided not to. I just don't like where shit's going with Roku, honestly. I still have one in the living room. Sure, I can get all my apps on it, but certain things I just can't do, and I just don't want to fucking deal with it, honestly. I'd rather go Android and try this thing out. The remote looks interesting, so I'm interested in giving that a go. That's pretty much it. I mean, this was like the only tech thing I bought with my stimulus check, because I have a 4K TV and I can't take advantage of it because You know, I bought the 1080p Apple TV for $150 because I didn't have the extra money and whatnot, but it is what it is. I am hoping, though, in the future, they release another stimulus check, because I would like to get a new laptop, honestly. I can type. I think upgrading to, if I can get a laptop for under $1,000 with one of these in it, the 5900HX, because that is basically desktop quality performance in a laptop. That would be a huge upgrade over this 10-year-old laptop. And again, it even beats out the 10980H. What is with fucking Intel's fucking naming scheme? It's terrible. Oh look, they put in Comic Sans. That's cool. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to that, and I'll probably make another video on that. So yeah, until next week. That's basically an update on shit. And I'll do a review on the Google Chromecast with Google TV next week, and that'll be the end of that. I might do a couple other reviews because I'm getting a new mattress, so I'll probably do a review on that. And that's an update for the channel, so I got quite a few reviews that I got to do next week when shit gets here. And I'll see you guys in the next video.